Hey, peace, family. So, it's a lot of different things that I want to do for 2025. As far as kind of just providing freelance content, like there's tons of different health topics that I can cover and that can be covered. But more or less, just wanted to provide information about the health industry, about the anatomy of the body, the physiology, the spiritual aspects of the body, and just different things that I feel like a lot of people are not aware of that need to have more light shed upon them. So I like to start off with talking about the chakras, so depending on different religious backgrounds people may be a part of, the chakras are pretty much demonized in a way. If you haven't received any sort of enlightenment or higher understanding of what they are, you may look at them as something that is evil or bad or things that you should not resonate with. But it's the complete opposite, family. Solely and truly the complete opposite. No matter what religious background that you believe in or participate in or are familiar with, every single person has chakras inside of their body. Alright, family, so to really just break it down, the chakras are what's known as the endocrine system. So when you look in the medical terms, the word endo means internal, inside, or within. So the endocrine glands, the glands that are within inside of you, make up the chakras inside of your body. So basically when you go through the crown chakra, that resonates with the pituitary gland, but the pituitary gland also works hand in hand with what is called the hypothalamus gland, which they both lay within inside the hippocampus or the hypothalamus campus inside of your brain. This is known as the master gland inside of your body. If the pituitary gland and hypothalamus gland are not communicating properly and working well together, that means that all the other internal glands inside of your body are probably having issues as well and not creating sufficient amount of hormones that they need to create for optimal function and vitality and life energy for you, and that you probably are having disruptions within some other system or other internal organ or glands inside of your body. So that's why we always want to make sure that the pituitary and hypothalamus gland are in the correct state, because they are in control of all the other glands inside of our endocrine system. The second would be the pineal gland, which is the third eye chakra. This is also very important because this is in control of secretion of melatonin and serotonin. These are very, very important for balancing our circadian rhythm. So that's why it's very important for us to get sufficient amounts of rest and sleep during the right times of the day. So melatonin is created during the day to be secreted at night so that we can go to sleep easier. But serotonin is created at night and then gets secreted during the daytime. This all happens for a reason. So if you're sleeping in a nocturnal pattern, that means that your inside circadian rhythm is probably off balance, and you can be having hormonal dysfunction throughout inside of your body as well. These are very, very pivotal things that we need to learn to do to control ourselves to have the best health impact inside of our body. The next gland that we're going to cover is called the throat chakra, which is the thyroid gland. And there's also two other small glands that lay on top of the thyroid gland called the parathyroid gland. The thyroid gland is very, very important. It helps create an element called calcitonin, which is control of our calcium levels inside of our body. And it also is control of our metabolism and making sure that our resting temperature, also known as the basal temperature inside of our body, is set at a good rate so it's not getting too hot or too cold at any given time. This is very important, especially when one becomes under the weather, if they having a viral load that interacted and came inside of their body, or they have a pathogen that's inside of their body and now they have a fever. This is what causes the raising of this basal temperature, which is known as a fever, to help burn out that pathogen, burn out that viral load, to make sure that our body can now heal itself. So people look at fevers and look at the high temperatures in a bad way. And yes, you don't want it to be high for too long because that is bad. But that effect in itself is a healing mechanism, showing you that your thyroid and your parathyroid gland is working correctly, burning out that internal invader, that pathogen, that viral load, to make sure that your body can help reset and heal itself over time. These are things that we need to learn to understand what our body is actually doing for us. Next, we'll go over the heart chakra, known as the thymus gland. This is very important because this is the gland that turns lymphocytes, or otherwise known as white blood cells, into T cells and B cells, thymus cells and bone marrow cells. These are different immune cells, or really lymphatic cells of the body, to help fight off these different pathogens and viral loads and internal invaders that come from airborne different arrays, or come from touching different bacteria from different people and different environments and different places that have gotten into your body that caused a reaction that your body did not like. So now these are basically like the army guys that's coming in to come beat up those pathogens, internal invaders, just so your body's internal terrain can stay as healthy as possible over the longer amount of time. These are very, very pivotal things that we need to make sure that we're taking care of to support our immune, but really the lymphatic system of our body, so that we know that we can stay healthy as long as possible. Next, we're going to go over the adrenal glands, also known as the solar plexus. The adrenal glands are two small glands that sit on top of the kidneys that are in control of our vitamin utilization, our sugar utilization, the steroids and corticosteroids. So these are very, very important for our body, for people that have sugar issues, and we're going to go into that next with the next gland, and also with vitamin and mineral utilization inside of the body. We need to make sure that if we're eating and taking in good supplements and good food, we can actually utilize them while they are inside of us, and not just building up and corroding and building up as waste matter inside of our digestive system, inside the bloodstream, causing corrosion and acids and different calcification to build up over time because they're not being utilized. This is something that we need to make sure that we are very, very on top of and taking control of. It's also in control of the fight or flight and the rest and digest system, because it's control of the autonomic nervous system. This is the system that is very essential, connected to the nervous system and the neurotransmitters, and basically the inputs sending off signals into your body to fire off to do most of your communication through. This is the communication center of the body. If your fight or flight is going off too much, you're probably living in too much anxiety, too much fear, and too much anger. We have to make sure that everything is regulated so that we can feel better over time. This is very, very pivotal in making sure that we can have the rest and digest kicked in at the proper times, so we can have good bowel transit, so we don't have a lot of constipation, or we can go to the bathroom at ease. This stuff is very important. It may seem weird to most people, but this is something that most people overlook and wonder why their health could be in shambles. The next goes right into the pancreas, also known as the sacral chakra. The pancreas is very important because it creates and secretes insulin, glucagon, somatostatin, ghrelin, gastrin. These are different hormones that help with regulating blood sugar levels. Insulin to help lower blood sugar, and glucagon to help raise blood sugar by signaling channels to the liver to release glucose, just so that that sugar can actually flow through our cells to feed them the proper amount of sugar if our levels become too low. And somatostatin is good because it helps inhibit the secretion of both of those hormones. If we're in a balance, we need to have that checked as well. The ghrelin is very important because ghrelin is the hunger hormone. So a lot of the times when you're feeling hungry more often than not, you may have too much ghrelin circulating through your body. And a lot of people have a misconception of hunger and hydration. Most of the times you think you're hungry, you're really not hungry. You really are dehydrated and you need a drink. So ghrelin is important when you're in a state of possible starvation. Your pancreas will secrete that hormone to make you feel hungry so you can go eat and suffice your body with the proper amount of nutrition, vitamins, minerals, micro or macro nutrition. This is stuff that's very, very important. And then lastly, we have the root chakra. In females, it's ovaries, and men, it's the testes. For women, it's very important, and this is the reproduction center of the body. This is very, very important. If the reproductive center of the body is off in women, you're not having the right amount of estrogen being produced inside of the body. And also when it's time to reproduce for most women, you're not creating the right amount of eggs that could be possibly fertilized inside of the body, sent through the fallopian tubes to lay within inside of the ovaries and actually conceive the baby over time. This is a problem that we have because we're not addressing our root chakra. We have to get our root chakras in order. And men, this is another good thing. We need to have our testosterone levels raised to make sure that our sperm count and our sperm is ready and fertilized itself to be able to fertilize the eggs when women are in that ovulation period. If you're looking to reproduce, this is very, very important that we have our endocrine system, our chakra glands in the right order at all times, family. So this is just some of the information I wanted to share with y'all. You know that chakras 9 times out of 10 from a religious aspect get demonized and get frowned upon and get a negative connotation when it's the exact opposite, family. You need your chakras, you need your endocrine glands, you need your endocrine system to be operating at a very high level, at an optimal level, so you could be benefiting and living your best life overall. If your hormones are out of whack, most of the time you're not going to feel your best. So it's important that we're taking control of our health, making sure that we're becoming aware of ourselves, making sure that we are becoming one with the creator of the world and of this earth, so that we know that the Most High resides within us, so that no other man or no other human or no other people can tell us who we are. We gotta understand who we are and what we do. So this is just information that I want to share with you guys, and I'm gonna be going way more in depth with a lot of other information that, you know, I just want to share along as time goes by, because I feel like it's very pivotal that people need to understand who they are and what they're capable of, and you know what we actually need to keep our body in the right space. And we'll go over other videos talking about each specific gland to actually break down what it needs so it can be sufficing for you if you're suffering from any of the things that are actually directed to a dysfunctioning or malfunctioning gland that needs some support and vitality. So just stay up to date with the videos, family. Stay tuned in, and you know we're gonna be dropping that content for you. So I appreciate y'all stopping in, and just stay tuned for more. Peace.